Okay guys, so in this video, we're going to discuss the question from the for the end semester test for 2002 and 2003 for grade 8. So make sure you pay attention to all of the method. You can actually use other method if you have other method, as long as it is systematic and also leading to the same answer. Okay, let's just start from number 1. Consider a numerical data set as follows. So we have these value here, 23, 34, 34, and so on, so on. And then from the data set above, determine the mode, median, range, upper and lower quartile, and the mean. Okay, so the first thing that we need to understand, and the best idea to answer this kind of question is to check whether the data set is is sorted or not. So you have to make sure that these data is sorted, so in that way it's going to be easy for you guys to answer these kind of questions. For this question, and the data coincidentally is all of them are the data has been sorted from the smallest to the highest, which means it's in ascending order. So you're good to go to answer all of this question. Okay, now let's go to the first question, which is the mode. So remember that the mode is the data values that has the most frequency, or show up the most. In here, all of the data comes up only once, except for this one, right? So this one comes up 2 times, the other only once. This one is once, right? So which means that the mode is just 34, because 34 comes up twice, the other only once. So this is just 34. Okay, the next one is the median. So the median is the middle value of the set of the data. So the first thing that you need to understand for the median is that there will be a different case if the number of data is going to be even or odd number of data. So for this one, we have how many data? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 data. So we have an odd number of data. So which means that the median is going to be exactly in the middle of that. I mean, like, you're gonna take one value from the data set as the median. So we can see that in here we have 9 data. So the median data, so the data for the median is going to be because we have 9 data, so there'll be 9 plus 1 divided by 2, and there'll be 10. This is not the answer, guys. This is only 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So what does this mean? It means that the median will be on the 5th data, and here the 5th data is over here. So you can actually check it out by seeing on the left and on the right side of that data whether you have the same exact number of data or not. Okay, we can see that on the left side of this 52 we have 4 data, right? Which means that if this is the median, meaning that on the right side of this data you also going to have the same exact number of data. So in here we also have 4 data, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So which means that 52 is exactly in the middle of this data set. So we can just write down here the median is 52. Okay, the next one is the range. So the range is the we need to find out the maximum and the minimum value of the data. So because it has been sorted, so this is going to be the minimum value and this is going to be the maximum value. So the range is just going to be the maximum, again the maximum value minus the minimum value, and it'll be just 92 minus 23. If we use the calculator to do this, that will be 69. Yeah, you don't have to use the calculator fully. But yeah, if you have difficulties in like counting fast, I mean like the speed of your counting is not too fast, but then you can use a calculator. It's fine. Okay, the next one is the upper and lower quartile. So remember that quartile means that you are going to divide the set of data into 4 equal parts, right? Because it comes from the word quart, right? Means it's 4. So which means that we can actually use the median, like the previous data that we have. This is the median, right? So this is going to be the middle one. So if you want to find the quartiles, you can only you can see it from the left side and on the right side of the median. So we can see that on the left side of the median we have these data, right? So it has the same concept as the median, but we are only focusing on the left side of the data if you want to find the lower quartile. The lower quartile means that's low meaning the smallest one. So which means that we are going to find the middle data from the set of data. Okay, so in here you can see that the middle data is over here, right? If you split this data into like two parts, they'll be over here. If you can't take this one, because if you take that one, on the left side of that we only have like one data, and then on the right side we have two data, so it's not going to be equally split, right? So which means that because this is like previously we have odd numbers, now we have even number of data, right? So we have 1 2 3 4. So how can we find the middle one? So you can actually see that if we cut it like exactly over here, that will be like dividing these data into two equal parts. So this is going to be the quartile 1, or the lower quartile. So the lower quartile is like we don't actually see a number here, but we can actually add these two numbers like between this like separator that we just made, and then add them together, and then you divide it by 2. So the lower quartile in here, or the Q1, is going to be the adding these two numbers and then divided by 2, right? So 34 plus 34 divided by 2, and it coincidentally is just the same thing, which is 34. And the same thing with the upper quartile, but the only difference that previously in lower quartile we're focusing the data on the left side of the median. Now we're going to focus on the right side of the median, right? So we are going to do the same exact thing. We have like 1 2 3 4 data, and then we split this into two equal parts, so that will be over here, right? So if you split this, you can see that we can actually have the same amount of data, right? So in here, we can see that what do you call it? It's between 79 and 80, right? So the upper quartile will be just 79 plus 80 divided by 2. So remember that you actually split it if it's exactly in the middle of like two numbers, right? And then you can just add those two numbers and then divide it by 2. So this is going to be equal to 79.5. So that is for the upper quartile. And the last one is the mean. Okay, so the mean is just adding all of the values of the data and then divided by the number of data. So we have 9 data, so which means that we're going to add 23 plus 34 plus 34 and so on and so on until 92, and then you divide it by 9. Why is it 9? Because we have 9 data. So if we have like 10 data, it's divided by 10. If we have 9 data, so you divide it by 9. So which means that the mean, that'll be equals to 23 plus 34 plus 34 plus 40 plus 52 and then plus 63. I'm running out of space, guys. I'm gonna move this a little bit down over here. Wait, let me check that. Okay. Okay, here. Okay, so plus 79 plus 80 plus 92, and then divide all of that by 9 because we have 9 data. Okay, so if we add them together, all of them on the top, that will be 497 over 9, and you can use the calculator and you will get 55.2222 and so on. So you can write down, because this is a recurring decimal, you can just write down like this. Okay, so this is going to be the mean. Okay, next up for number 2, using the calculator, determine the mean, median, range, lower quartile, upper quartile, and mode for the score below. So in here, guys, this is previously we are shown in like a singular data. This time we're going to see it in a table, in a frequency table. In here, you can see that outcomes 3.5, 3.6, so on, and we have frequency 7, 11, 16, 12, 8, and 6. So actually, we can do it manually, but you can also use a calculator to find the mean especially for the mean, for the median range, for the median and quartiles here. You need to make another column here, which is the cumulative frequency later on, CF over here. But let's just focus on the mean first for now. Okay, now for the mean again, guys, if you want to do it manually, you can add another column here, right? Another line or column, which is the fx. What is fx? It's just like the multiplication of x and f. So why do we need to add them? Because previously, remember that when we're talking about mean, we're actually just adding all of the data and then divided by the total number of data, right? So in here, what you are doing here is just like just adding up all of the data. So why do we need to multiply this? Because actually, if I write this down in a single data, they'll be like this: 3.5 and then 3.5 3.5, and then 3.5, as we have like 7 of that, right? So if I add all of them 7 times, this is just equals to 3.5 times 7, right? So that's why we need to multiply it. Okay, so that's the reason why. Okay, now let's just multiply all of them, and then yeah, add them up. So actually guys, if you want to know how to use the calculator to find the mean, you can see the video that I made. I'm gonna put the link in this description below. Later on you can see it. Okay, so in here, if you want to decide to do it manually, you can just like multiply all of them. I'm gonna pause the video guys, and then I'm gonna show up all of the calculation here. Okay, so this is these are the results of the multiplication. We can see that this 24.5 comes from the multiplication of 3.5 times 7, and this is 39.6 comes from 3.6 times 11, and so on, so on, so on. Okay, so you can just like see it. All of them are just multiplication of the frequency and the outcomes. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is to find the total number of frequency, which means that we are going to find out how many data do we have in this set of data, right? So you only need to add all of this, right? So 7 plus 11, and so on, so on, so on. So this is going to be, I'm going to write down sigma f. So remember that sigma means total, yeah? So sigma f. And after we also need to find the sigma fx. Right, so the sigma fx is, you just add all of these data. So yeah, you can use the calculator for this one. Okay, so the sigma fx, if I add all of this number here, this value, I will get 60. If I add all of this value, you will get 224.1. So those two are going to be very crucial for us to find the mean. Then again guys, if you decided to use the calculator, then it's going to be a lot easier. You can again see the video that I've made like a couple of years ago, and you can use that method to find the mean. Okay, so but if you want to do it manually, which means that the mean will be just equals to the sigma fx divided by the sigma f. So you only need to divide these two numbers. Okay, remember, sigma fx divided by sigma f. So it will be 224.1 divided by 60, and that will be equals to 3.735. Okay, that is for the mean. Okay, now for the median, and actually median, lower quartile and upper quartile, we're going to just do all of them at once. But let's just focus on the easiest one first. I'm going to focus to the range first. Okay, so I'm going to move this a little bit to the bottom here, because we're going to need another line for that later on, what we call the CF. Okay, now the range again is quite easy, because you only need to find the highest data, the maximum value of the data, and the minimum value of the data. So the maximum, based on this table, the maximum value is outcomes is 4.0, and the minimum value is 3.5. So you only need to subtract those two values. So which means that the range, I'm gonna put it here. So the range will be just equals to 4.0 minus 3.5, and it just will be equals to 0.5. Okay, so you can do the easiest one first, guys. If you see that the range is easier to be calculated, just do the range first. You don't have to do the mean first. Okay, so remember that is you can just it's a better idea for you to do the easiest question first. Okay, the next one is actually the easiest one, is the mode, right? So just remember that the mode is the data values in which the that data comes up the most. We can actually see it from the frequency, the value of the frequency. In here, the frequency that is the highest, which this one over here, which is 16. So which means that the mode is this 3.7. Okay, so that is again is going to be very, very easy. So you can write down here. So the mode is just equals to 3.7. Okay, now let's go to the part where we have to do the median, lower quartile, and upper quartile. So this one is a little bit of tricky, guys, because you need to use one more table, which is the cumulative frequency. So we're going to add another line over here, and we're going to call that CF, comes from the cumulative frequency. Okay, so for the cumulative frequency, please, you only need to focus. You only need to focus on the frequency, because please don't see the outcomes and the fx. please don't see that because don't be distracted by that first. Okay, so to fill out all of these value over here, please just see the frequency. Okay, so just focus on that. Okay, now let's just start. So for the CF, the first thing that we're going to write here is 7. Why is it 7? Because we're going to start from this number over here, right? So it's going to be the same for the first value. The lowest value is 3.5 here, right, guys? This is the minimum, I mean the lowest, the minimum value of the data. So the frequency is 7, so which means that for the first one we only need to write that as 7. As for the next one, you only need to add. Remember that you only need to add. What do we add? We add it with the next frequency, which is 11, right? So 7 plus 11 is equals to 18, so 18 over here, and then add it again with the next value, with the next frequency, which is 16. 18 plus 16 is going to be 34, and then add it again with 12. You'll get 34 plus 12 is equals to 46, right? And then add it again with 8, you'll get 54. And then with the last one is 54 plus 6, that'll be equals to 60. Okay, so make sure that this number here is going to be the same with the sigma f, so you will have the exactly the same value as that. If you have different value, which means that you might want to recheck the calculation, you might miss something over there. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how to read this number. Okay, what does that number means? Okay, now let's go we go to 7 here. So 7 means that data number 1 until number 7 is this guy over here, right? So data number 1 until the data number 7 is 3.5. So if I write this down in a singular data, that will be like this. Okay, so this 3.5, we have 7 of that, so we can write it down like 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3.5 and 3.5. So we have 7 of that, right? So data number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, data number 5, data number 6, data number 7, all of them are 3.5. That's why it's 1 until 7. Data number 1 until data number 7 is 3.5. Okay, so that's the first one. The next one is this one over here. So 18, what does that mean? It means that data number 8 until data number 18 is 3.6. So why is it not from data number 1? Because the last data that we have is data number 7, right? So that until the data number 1 till data number 7 is 3.5, so which means that 3.6 will start from data number 8. So I'm gonna write down here, that'll be like 3.6. I have 11 of that, so it's 3.6, 3.6, and so on, so on, so on, so on, until I get 11 of these, right? So which means that data number 8, number 9, number 10, until I get into data number 18 is 3.6. Okay, so this is how you read the cumulative frequency. So we can actually, again, I'm gonna write that here. So this is gonna be data number 19 until data number 34. This is going to be data number 35. Again, where do we get 35? Because this is 34. After 34 is 35, right? So that will be data number 35 until data number 46, and then which means that the next one will be data 47, right? Because after 46 to 47 until data number 54, and the last one is data number 55 until data number 60 is going to be 4.0. Okay, so we can actually, you don't need this actually, but I'm just gonna put that anyway so that you can see what is actually happening here. So now we can move on to the median, lower quartile, and upper quartile. So in here, guys, remember that the median is the middle data, right? So since we have 60 data, so which means that the median, the data of the median, we need to calculate it like this. I'm gonna move that mean a little bit down here, guys, so we can see it more clearly for how we're going to find the median. Okay, so here we go. So we have 60 data, meaning that if I just like draw a number line like this, right? Let's say it's from data number 1 until data number 60. If you want to find the median, you are going to find the data that is exactly in the middle of this set of data, right? So you might think, okay, there are 60 data, so maybe this is 30, but not correct, guys. So why? Because if I make it like this, 30 here, the data won't be split into two equal parts. right? So because why? Because from 1 to 30, there are 29 data, because 30 minus 1 is 29. If I subtract 60 by 30, there'll be 30. So you can see that this is not equal, right? So remember that in median, you need to divide the set of data into two equal parts. So there is a method on how to find the data, the nth data, we call it the nth data of the middle, the median. Okay, so for this one, actually this is my own method, but if you have other method, it's fine. So I'm gonna call it like the nth median data. Okay, so the nth median data is actually the same thing like we did over here, guys. Like this one here, 9 plus 1 divided by, just add the total data, the number of data by 1 and then divided by 2. So because since we have 60 of them, so the nth median data will be equals to 60 plus 1 divided by 2. And if I add that, that will be 30.5. Okay, so why do we have like a decimal number here? Since actually it's between two numbers, between a data number 30 and data number 31. So in the middle, we have 30.5, right? So which means that the median value here will be this is 31. So as you can see here, guys, if I subtract 31 by 1, you will get 29. If I also subtract 60 by 31, I will also get 29. So which means that I will get the same number of data if I split that, if the median is in the middle between the data number 30 and data number 31. Okay, now which means that we need to find out, remember, if we have like in the middle of that and then we don't have like the exact value of the data, so we need to find data number 30 and data number 31, and we add them together and then we divide it by 2. Okay, so this is where this comes in handy. Okay, guys, so as you can see that how can we find data number 30? We can actually see it from here, right? So data number 30 will be over here. Okay, why? Because data number 19 until number 34 is in here. Like it's where is it? Okay, it's the 3.7, right? So let me repeat that again. You're looking for data number 30, right? So data number 30 will be over here because in this set of data, like this one here, right, that will be data number 19 until data number 34. It will be like data number 19, data number 20, data number 21, 22, 23, and so on, so on, so on, until data number 34 is this guy over here, 3.7. Okay, and the same thing with data number 31. So it's also going to be here because from this one over here, data number 31 is exactly over here also. So which means that we can find the median, right? So the median, remember, this is not the answer, the final answer. That is just to find where the median is, right? So okay, I'm gonna move this again, guys. Maybe put it a little bit smaller over here. Okay, so the median in here, that will be equals to the data number 30, which is 3.7, this one, right? And also the data number 31 is also 3.7, so which means that will be 3.7 plus 3.7 divided by 2, and that will be just 3.7. Okay, that's it. Okay, now to find the lower quartile and the upper quartile, you also going to use the same exact method. But remember that when like finding the lower quartile, meaning that you only need to focus on the left side of the data. So for the lower quartile, you're going to focus only on these data over here, right? Data number 1 until data number 30. You're going to do the same exact method like we did previously when we find the median, but the only difference is that previously we are using 60 data, right? But after we split this into two parts, we're going to have like 30 in here, 1 until 30. So we're going to find the middle one, between the middle value between the first until the 13th data. So here, right? So we can do the same thing again, guys. So for the nth lower quartile, I'm going to just write down Q1, quartile 1, and nth data, and that will be equals to, because we have 30 over here, so it's just 30. So actually, guys, you can actually do it like this. So just add these two numbers, right, and then divide by 2. The same thing like before, actually. 60 plus 1 divided by 2. So 60 plus 1 divided by 2. So yeah, that is one of the method that we can use. Okay, so here we go. So that'll be 30 plus 1 divided by 2. That'll be equals to 15.5, meaning that it will be between data number 15th and the data number 16. And we can do the same exact method like we did before to find where is the data number 15 and data number 16. So both of them coincidentally are over here, right? So this is 8 until 18, meaning data number 8 until data number 18 is 3.6. So data number 8, data number 9, data number 10, and so on, so on, so on, is this guy over here, 3.6. Okay, so which means because they're the same, right? Data number 15 is over here, and data number 16 is also over here. So both of them will be 3.6. So which means that the lower quartile is going to be 3.6 plus 3.6 divided by 2, and that'll be just 3.6. Okay, the same thing with the upper quartile, guys, but this time we're going to focus on the right side of the median. So that will be over here, right? So to find where it is, you only need to add these two numbers, 31 and 60, and then divide it by 2. So I'm gonna write that here. So the nth value, the nth upper quartile data is going to be 31 plus 60 divided by 2, and that'll be 91 divided by 2, and it'll be 45.5. So which means that the data will be between the 45th data and the 46th data. So both of them, we can see it again over here, both of them is over, so both of them are over here, right? Wait, is it? No, sorry guys, it's over here. Yes, it's 46 over here. This is 46. So meaning that data number 35, 36, 37, 38, 39 until data number 46 is over here, which is 3.8. So since both of data number 45 and data number 46 are the same, which is 3.8, just add 3.8 plus 3.8 divided by 2. So the upper quartile, I'm going to write down Q3. So there'll be 3.8 plus 3.8 divided by 2, and there'll be 3.8. Okay, for the next number 3, actually it has the same exact concept like we did before in number 2. So I'm not gonna talk a lot for this one, so you can use the same exact thing. Okay, so most of the time, again, if the question asks you for the mean and like the median, the lower quartile, upper quartiles, you will need to make fx and also a cf. Okay, so please do this, and yeah. Okay, so for the fx, you only need to multiply these two numbers, right? 0 times 2 is 0, 1 times 10 is 10, and so on, so on, so on. So for the cf, remember you only need to focus on the frequency. So you only need to do it like this. So this is 2 because this is 2. And then you add them with the next number, which is the frequency, which is 10. So 2 plus 10 is equals to 12. And then added with this guy, you will get 27. And then 27 added with this guy, you get 35. And then 35 plus 5, they'll be equals to 40. So okay, so this is going to be the complete table, and now we can find we can answer the question. Okay, the total number from the table above, determine the total number of student in class A. So which means that this is just going to find out the sigma f, so the total number of data. So what you need to do is just to add all of this, right? So add them together, you'll get what we call the sigma f. It's the total number of data. 2 plus 10 is 12. 12 plus, you can actually see it from here, actually, guys. Yeah, when you have the CF, so this number here is the total number of data. So that will be just equals to 40. Okay, the mode and the median. So the mode is, remember that it is the data in which it has the highest frequency. And the highest frequency is 15. So which means that the mode is this one over here. So the mode is equals to 2. And then the median, remember that when finding the median and the quartiles, you need what we call the CF here. So we have 40 data, so which means that the median, right, will be on the data 40 plus 1. So it's not the nth data, yeah? The nth data of the median will be 40 plus 1 divided by 2, and that will be equals to 20.5, meaning that will be in the middle between the 20th and the 21st data. Okay, the 20th and the 21st data is exactly over here. So remember, guys, if I you just like check number 2. So this means that data number 1 and number 2 is over here. This is data number 3 until number 12 is over here. Data number 13 until number 27 is over here. Data 28 until data 35 is over here. And last one is data number 36 until data number 40 is over here. Okay, now again, we're looking for the data number 20 and the 21st, and both of them are coincidentally is over here, right? So 13, data number 13 until 27, meaning that data number 20th and the data number 21 is over here, so that will be 2. So which means that the median is only this one over here, because 2 plus 2 divided by 2 is equals to 2, right? So I'm just write down. So data number 20 is 2, data number 21 is also 2, and then divided by 2, you'll get 4 over 2, and you'll get equals to 2. Okay, the next one is the lower and upper quartile. It's the same thing like before, guys. So the lower data, the what do you call the middle, the lower quartile, meaning you are going to divide that by 4. So if I just like draw a number line again, guys, so in here, guys, the data number 1 until number 40, and if after you split that, you'll get 20 and 21 over here, right? So which means that we're going to focus for the lower quartile, we're going to focus on the left side of the median. So which means that the nth data for the quartile 1 or the lower quartile is 20 plus 1 divided by 2. So it's 20 plus 1 divided by 2, they'll be equals to 10.5, meaning that the quartile 1 or the lower quartile is going to be between the data number 10 and data number 11. So data number 10 and 11 is coincidentally is on the same spot, which is over here, right? So this is data number 3 until data number 12. So data number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? It's over here, so right? So we're looking for these two, and they are exactly the same. I mean, like, coincidentally again, it's over here, so meaning that the quartile 1 is this guy over here. So that will be the lower quartile. And then the last one, I'm going to write down 1 plus 1 divided by 2 equals to 1. Okay, because yeah, the 10th data is 1, the 11th data is 1, add them together, and then divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is equals to 1. Okay, now the last one for question C is the upper quartile. You also going to be the same, do the same thing again. So you're going to focus this time on the right side of the median, meaning that you're going to focus over here, right? So data number 21 until data number 40, and meaning that the upper quartile, the nth data, so the nth data of the, what do you call, the nth data for the quartile 3, nth quartile 3, yeah, data, and that'll be equals to 40 plus 21 divided by 2. So 40 plus 21 divided by 2 is equals to 61 divided by 2 is 30.5. So which sorry guys, so 30.5, meaning that 30.5, so meaning that you're going to find data number 30 and also number 31, yeah? Data number the 30th data and the 31st data, right? So you can see it again here. So data number 30 and the number 31 is coincidentally again is on the same spot, which is over here, right? Data number 28, 29, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35 is over here. So meaning that the quartile 3 is going to be over here, which is 3. So just write down, that'll be just because again, data number 30 is 3, data number 31 is also 3, divided by 2 is equals to 3. Okay, last one is the mean, guys. You can actually use the sigma fx divided by sigma f, or you can use the calculator as I shown before in the previous video. You can see it over there. So I'm gonna do manually here. So I'm gonna find the sigma fx for this one, and that'll be equals to, that'll be 44. Is it? Oh, sorry, 404, 800. Wait, is it? Yes, it is going to be 84. Yes. Okay, so which means that the mean, yeah, the mean is just sigma fx divided by sigma f. That will be 84 divided by 40, and that will be equals to 2.1. So guys, equals to 2.1. Okay, so we actually have the a continuous question for this one. It is related to probability. Okay, let's go to the next one. A student in this school is chosen at random. So one student chosen at random, since we know that we have 40 students in here, right? So the total number of students 40 over here in this data, and we're going to pick one out of those 40, right? What is the probability that this student does not have a pet? So does not have a pet, meaning that the pet is equals to 0. We can see that the frequency of the student who doesn't have any pet is 2, right? So which means that the probability, right, the probability of this event, let's say it's E, because this is question E, you can actually use PX as actually the same thing. So that will be just 2 out of 40, because we know we have 40 students. But remember, guys, you need to write it down. You need to answer the question in the simplest form. You'll get 1 over 20. Okay, so the same thing with this one, has 4 pets, meaning that you only need to see the one that has 4 pets, which is over here, right? The number of student who has 4 pets is 5. So which means that the probability that you will have a student who has 4 pets is going to be, that's going to be PF, for example, and that will be just 5 out of 40. Why is 5 over 40? Because we have 5 of students who have 4 pets, and then 40 in total of the student that we have on this population, or we have survey. Then again, guys, we need to simplify this into the simplest form. The simplest fraction, there will be 1 over 8. Okay, and then the next one is has at least a pet, meaning that you can see that we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I say has at least a pet, meaning that you can have this, you can have this, you can have this, you can also have this, right? It can I mean, like that student might have 1 pet or 2 pet, 3 pet, or 4 pet, because at least 1, which means that this is not going to be included. So because we have all of these, so we only need to add these numbers, right? Or the easiest way to do this, because you exclude this one. So because we know that we have the total of 40 students, so exclude this one, so you will have 38 student who has at least 1 pet. So which means that the probability of this will be equals to 38 over 40. Or again, you need to write this out in the simplest fraction. It will be 19 over 20. Okay, so for number 4, the exam results with a maximum score of 100 for year 8 students were as follow. And then the first question is complete a group frequency distribution table with class interval of 10, beginning with 41 and 40, 51 and 60, and so on, so on, so on. So, and here, guys, you can actually do it like this, because it has been determined that in this question you need to make an interval of 10, in which the first class is this one, the second class is this one, and so on, so on. So you can just like put all of this like over here. Okay, so we're gonna start with 41 till 50. So it'll be 41 till 50, and this is 51 to 60. All right, wait. So which means that the next one will be 61 until 70, right? It'll be 71 out of 80, and then 81 until 90, and the last one is 91 until 100. Okay, so this is for the class 1. Okay, so the next one that we can do is to fill this one, the CC actually is the midpoint. I'm just gonna write down midpoint here. So center class, we call it center class, or we call it the midpoint. So it is the midpoint of these two, right? So remember, guys, when we're talking about the median, the quartiles, right? When we are looking for where is the data and data number what, right? So you're actually doing what you call the midpoint. So the midpoint is only like adding 2 numbers, like the most left and the most right, and then divided by 2. So the same thing with this one, you only need to add these 2 numbers and then divide it by 2. So if you add those 2 numbers, 50 plus 41, and then you divide it by 2, you will get 91 over 2, or you will get 45.5, right? Okay, so the same thing with this one. If you add them together and then you divide by 2, you'll get 55.5. The same thing with this one. It is 65.5. You can see, actually, you don't have to do that continuously, like adding these 2 numbers and divided by 2, because you can see that we have a pattern here. Every time you go here, you add up with 10, right? It's because the class interval is 10. So just add 10 for every time you go down. So which means that this is going to be 75.5, this is going to be 85.5, and last one will be 95.5. Okay, so that is for filling the class and the center class or the midpoint. The next one is the F, which is the frequency. So the frequency here, you can like see it from here and determine which one is which. So let's start from the first one, which is the 41 until 50. So you can see that like calculate like count how many data are there in which the value is between until from 41 until 50. So we can see it over here. I'm gonna just like use the 41 over here, and then okay, yeah, I need to see it very carefully because you don't want to miss a single value for this one. So that will be 46 over here, and then where is it? I think we only have two. Is it? Wait. Yeah, I think we only have two, so you put two over here. Okay, so it's a good idea, guys. If you're doing it in a paper, you can use a pencil and then like circle that or like erase them like this, cross them like this, to check what do you call it, to mark them. So in like you have already put that into the table. Okay, so because there will be times there it's kind of difficult for you to see a lot of data, so I suggest that you can do this. Okay, so you can do the same like this method for the next one. So I'm gonna show you one more for the 51 till 60, and then you can do the rest one, 61 70 until 91 till 100. Okay, so 51 until 60, I'm gonna use other color for this time. 51 is over here, and then 51 to 60, I'm gonna just like see the 50. So I think this one is okay. 50-ish this one, and then 50-ish this one over here, and then no, oh yeah, I missed one over here, right? See, this 50 should be over here, so this should be 3. This should be 3, guys. Sorry. See? Yeah, so if you miss something, you can like, okay, so do that again, and you can use the pencil again. You can just erase them and just like check them again. Okay, so let's continue. I think we're done for the 51. Is it the 51 till 60? Wait, let me check it again, guys. I think we're done for that. Okay, so because 1 2 3 4 5, we have 5 of them, so write down 5 over here. Okay, so make sure that you know how many student are there. So we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and 1 2 3 4. So in total we have 40. So which means that after you fill all of this, make sure that if you add them together, the sigma f, that will be equals to 40. Just make sure that you don't miss a thing. Okay, so you can pause the video and then you can like fill all of this. I'm gonna just fill this later. Okay, so after I filled that, remember you need to pay a very close attention and not missing anything. So I did miss something over here, like this 60 should be over here. Previously I wrote 5, it should be 6, but I have rechecked them again, and I have these value for the frequency: 3 6 14 10 3 and 4. You can actually check it out by adding all of the numbers. We have 3 plus 6 is equals to 9, this is equals to 9, and then add this you get 23, you get this equals to 33, add this you get 36, and this is equals to 40, right? So you have exactly 40 data over here. Okay, now the next one that we are going to do is to fill that f times cc. So this is actually the same thing like fx, guys. So this is going to be the x value if we have like a group frequency distribution table like this. So we can just like multiply the outcomes, which is the midpoint, with the frequency. That's it, right? So for example, the first one is 45.5, and you multiply by 3, you'll get 136.5. So I'm gonna write that here, 136.5, and then you can do the same thing again with the other one over here. Okay, so this is what I got from multiplying the midpoint with the frequency. So we have this number, and then remember, guys, again, we can find the sigma fx. Just add all of these numbers, right? So this number here, these numbers. So you will get 2,780 for this one. Okay, then again, guys, if you decided to do it more quickly, you can use a calculator. Just put this as the outcomes and this is as the frequency on your calculator, and you will get the mean value. Okay, now the next one is the CF. Remember, guys, the CF is just focusing on the frequency. So this is going to be 3 because this is 3, and then this is going to be 9 because 3 plus 6 equals to 9, and then the next one will be equals to 23 because 9 plus 14 is 23. Then again, add them with the next number, which is going to be 23 plus 10, they'll be 33. And then add again with this one, you get 36. And last one, add with 4, you will get 40. So again, guys, you need to check whether this one and this one is the same. If you don't have the same number, meaning that you might have missed something in the calculation. Okay, so we have fill all of the table here. So let's go to the next question. What is the high score, the lowest score, and the range? Okay, so for this one, the high score, the lowest score, and the range, since we actually have the original data before we what do you call it, before we make the group frequency distribution table, which means that we need to go back to this data over here. So the lowest data is 41, right? So this is the lowest data is over, so I'm gonna just erase all of this. The lowest data is over here. This is the smallest value of this data set. So which means that I'm gonna write down the lowest value. Lowest is equals to 41, and then the highest, then again we can just see it over here. I think the highest value is 98. I think it's this one over here, right? So that's gonna be the highest. So which means that if you want to find the range, we only need to subtract the maximum value with the minimum value. If we subtract 98 by 41, you will get 57. Okay, so that's gonna be the range. Okay, the next one is determine the estimated mean, median class, and the modal class. So estimated mean is actually the same thing as mean, but this one we call it estimated mean because we have make them into groups. So if you make that into group, you won't be exactly 100% precise for the mean result, but you're going to have like an estimated number or an estimated value. So but the method is actually the same thing. I'm gonna write down like this. This is a symbol for estimated mean, and then the same exact formula, we have sigma fx divided by the sigma f, and we already have those two. That'll be 2780 from here, and then divide that by sigma f, which is 40, is from over here. So if I divide 2780 divided by 40, and that will be equals to 69.5. Okay, so that is for the estimated mean. And then the next one is going to be the median class and the modal class. So I'm going to go to the modal class first because that's easier. So the modal class is the class in which it has the highest frequency, and the highest frequency in this group distribution table, it's it's not working. Okay, so I'm just right here, is over here, right? So that 14 is the highest frequency of this data set. So it means that the modal class is this guy over here, 61 until 70. So the modal class is class 61 until 70. Okay, 61 until 70. Okay, the next one is the median class. That again, guys, remember that we can find the median or the median class by seeing the CF, and we know that we have 40 data, right? So which means that the nth median data is going to be 40 plus 1 divided by 2. The same thing like we did before, right, guys? So the nth data for the quartile 2 or the median will be 40 plus 1. Again, where do we get 40? Because the total data is 40, and 40 plus 1 divided by 2, and that will be equals to 20.5, meaning that we're going to find data number 20th and data number 21st, right? So data number 20 and the 21st is exactly over here, right? We know that this is data number 10 until data number 23, right? Why is it 10? Because the last data is data number 9. So we for this line, we're going to start from data number 10. So data number 10 until data number 23 is this, right? So because it's there, so we can select, okay, it's just like 61 to 7. So coincidentally, again, it's the same with the modal class. So the median class is the same with the modal class, which is class 61 until 70.